Hi, my name is Richard Kepler, Riverside Township Supervisor. First off, I'd like to thank Officer Sergeant Miller for helping putting this together, and Officer Mahanna, who's going to do the presentation, and also Colleen Wagner from Parks and District for helping out. Andrew, our assistant, who also helped out, and your Board of Trustees, Ann Kabitsky, Wayne Giesman, John Ertler, Mary Rob, well, I was saving Mary Rob Clark for last because Mary Rob went out and got cookies and water and stuff, so thank you, Mary Rob Clark. And there are handouts over here underneath the clock, so I will turn it over to Officer Mahanna.
Okay, thanks everyone for showing up. There are some handouts over there. The big packet like this, the identity theft packet, this is the packet we hand out to everybody that comes into the station that believes they've been a victim of identity theft. This is a basic packet. It gives you everything you need to know in order to help protect yourself. Calling the credit bureaus and starting the process to help protect yourself. The brochure here is just kind of some helpful hints. Keep it with you at home, on the refrigerator, whatever you want to do. If at any time you do think or suspect yourself being a victim of identity theft. Also, with it being the holiday season, not only did we do a little presentation on identity theft, we're also incorporating some crime prevention for the holiday season, how to keep yourself safe from burglaries, when you're out shopping at the mall, that kind of stuff. We added that towards the end of the PowerPoint presentation. So if you want to stay for that, you can. More than welcome to. Again, Sergeant Miller couldn't be here today. He had prior family obligations, unfortunately, so he can't be here. Again, Riverside Police Department, I'm Officer Mahanna. Identity theft, one of the fastest growing crimes in the nation, if not the world. Approximately 1 in 20 adults have been affected by identity theft, and that's growing. We'll get some kind of identity theft or fraud reports almost daily now. It's very unfortunate, but that's just the way the world has come with the internet and people trying to find a way to make an easy buck. Things that people that are identity thieves look for, credit card numbers. There's many ways that they can obtain that. Unfortunately now, if they're standing next to you, there are people that have sophisticated technology where they can just, it hooks up from their phone. And they can, as long as they're within a close proximity to your credit card, they can obtain that information. Driver's license numbers, social securities, birth dates, any other personal information that they can have that can make them you. That's why we suggest not having your social security card in your wallet or purse, just in case you do misplace that. That should be, laminated and kept in a safe place, preferably a fireproof safe in your house and only used when you need it. Some steps. Destroy all unused credit card loan applications. Don't leave those sitting around. Don't toss them unless they're shredded or, I don't know how people do it. Some people burn them in their backyards. Not in Riverside though. Never give out any information. We have tons of scams that I actually have on the back of the slide where they'll either send emails saying that you've won $1 million from the Nigerian prince or something like that. And they ask for that pertinent information, bank account info, social security number, and unfortunately it happens. People say yes to that kind of stuff. If you go to the ATM, you go to the bank, and you get a receipt, keep that stuff for your records, but after a certain period of time, destroy it. Or make a copy scan it on your computer, keep it in a safe file that's locked, and destroy it. Again, shred bank statements, tax documents. Tax documents you need to keep for a certain amount of years, and then after that, if you don't need it anymore, I would shred it. It's not worth, losing your life, to someone else. Make sure you're looking at all your bills carefully, credit card bills, utility bills, anything that you're paying. Make sure you're looking at it. If you see something fraudulent, then you need to document it and you need to report it to the police department. And we will, again, give you that packet and start an investigation if at all possible. It's like it says, destroy all checks once you close the checking account. People like to change numbers on the checks, change names, but the router number is still the same if there is anything else in that account. Keep a list of all credit cards and identification cards you carry in your purse and wallet so you can quickly report them as missing or stolen. And that's not Social Security card, that's a completely different thing. This is so okay, well, my driver's license, my Illinois ID card was in there. I had 2 credit cards in there, and these were the numbers on them. So at home, keep a list of what you have in your wallet and make sure everything's in file, in order. So you have a list. A lot of people have their stuff all over the place in their purse. And, well, I don't know if I took that out. I don't know if it's there. I had, $30 in this pocket of the purse, and I think I had 25. You don't want that. You want it all in one area, so you do know if the unfortunate accident does happen that your purse or wallet was stolen. Like the last point says, your PIN number to your debit card or any other account that you have, don't write it down and keep it in your purse. It's the same thing. A lot of theft is a crime of opportunity, and leaving a purse out, leaving a wallet out, dropping a wallet, like I said, it's a crime of opportunity. And if you give them that opportunity, people are going to take it. And if you have pertinent information in that wallet or purse, it's just going to make everything a lot worse. If you know you've become a victim, report the incident immediately to the police. I would almost say that comes maybe second. I would immediately close all your credit cards and then go talk to your bank and then come and report it. But I would do it all within a quick period of time, an hour, 2 hours. That way you have everything closed, they can't use it, and then you can come talk to us. That way we also have a document trail. We have information that, okay, well, yeah, you closed your credit cards, you closed this. So now if someone does try to use it, like at a gas station or something like that, and they swipe the card, we have the location of the card that was swiped. Like say if they use your credit card at a gas station, well, it's going to come back declined, but most gas stations have video cameras. I mean, not to say that we're going to solve it by just one video camera, but it gives us the steps in order to start the investigation properly. The banks also want, and credit cards want the affidavit signed stating that, yeah, you truly did lose your stuff and you did take the proper steps in order to, have the, hi, there's packets over there, and then just have a seat where we just started, so you're not missing much. So other things that you want to bring to the police department if you do suspect any kind of theft or fraud to yourself. Bank statements from the entire period. So let's say you notice that you haven't checked your bank account and you notice that your bank account's missing a certain amount of money, and you go back and you realize, wow, $30 a month for the past 12 months has been coming out of my account. I can't believe I didn't miss that. Well, what we want is you to print out each month's statement so we know exactly how much was taken, what time of the month it was taken. Normally statements have where it was coming from, so that way we can at least start some leads and investigate a little more. A lot of times, places such as Jewel, Home Depot, they got hit with credit card fraud or where they got hacked. If you do have a credit card with them and you contacted them saying, hey, was I affected, and they say yes you were, or they call you and say you were affected, they normally give you a case report number or a report number. When you get that, come and bring it to us, and that way it helps with our investigation. When you call those people, get their names, get the phone numbers you called. That way we can contact them, because normally we will be able to get more information, unfortunately, than you guys would. And it does kind of suck for you guys, because you want to know what's going on. But with law enforcement and crime investigation, they do have we do have a little more authority to get more information on as to such IP addresses or who exactly was using that credit card. If you do, for some reason, know a suspect, if you have an email and there's an IP address attached to it, get that information and bring it to us. That way we can continue our investigation. If you do know the person who has stolen your identity, report them to the Federal Trade Commission. If you suspect someone has used your Social Security number to establish credit or new accounts, contact the Social Security number hotline. All of that can be found online. In the identity theft packet that I have given you, they recommend that you contact each of the credit bureaus. That way, you can make sure that your credit is safe throughout the line, around the whole 3 credit bureaus, and the numbers are right there. They're also in that packet. After reporting a suspected fraud, you can request that your account be red flagged, in which the credit bureau will stop future credit from being issued until you are contacted. It will remain in place for 7 years or until you cancel the request. So if, let's say you have 2 credit cards and you find out someone opened another one in your name, you just won't be able to open another credit card unless you tell them, hey, I'm done. So that way, nobody can open another credit card in your name, period. Not even yourself, unless you tell them that you want to cancel that request. Like I said, there's a lot of scams that are going on, that people are trying to get your other information. There's a lot of internet and emails, the sweepstakes, the travel scams. You've won a free trip. Give me your Social Security number and your bank statement, and we'll put the money in your account so you can, so you can take your trip. A lot of people, you have lawsuits. Actually, just recently I took one where the guy was getting a phone call saying that I'm a lawyer from a company. There is a lawsuit against you. In order to obtain the information on your lawsuit, you need to give me your Social Security number. And the gentleman was like, well, I don't have any lawsuits against me. He goes, well, you are this person at this address, and the last 4 of your social are this, is this, right? He goes, well, yeah. And they went back and forth a little bit, and the gentleman luckily knew it was a scam. But people can get that information, and it's very scary. But you don't finish that, because they can't get the full Social Security. They can only get, somehow they only get the last 4. But when you give them that pertinent information, where you work, they call you on your cell phone or your home phone, they have the last 4. It's believable. But no one's ever going to do that. No one really in a lawsuit is ever going to do that. You're going to get something in the mail, or you're going to even know you're in a lawsuit. If you're in a lawsuit, you know you're in a lawsuit. It's not a surprise to you. There's telemarketing. Like I said, the Nigerian prince is giving you $1 million. He has too much. He can't spend it. They ask for a bank account, a routing number, so they can give that to you. And that way they just steal all the money that's in your account. A lot of the other stuff on here, like I said, it's just, there's a lot of, unfortunately, accounts. The FBI, they have a very good website for identity theft, for the scams, for all that kind of stuff. You go there, you read over the scams. If anything that sounds like it's a situation that you're in, then you go to that you read on the FBI, you go to that website, they have a link to, it's what's called ic3.gov. That way you can actually file a report with a federal government entity, and this is all they do. They take reports. So a Nigerian king contacts you, you report it to them. There's not necessarily a crime there, but they're trying to scam people. So you wouldn't come to us in those situations if you get the email, but you could report that you got the email, and then they will go through the proper procedures. They will ask you questions about what exactly you received, when you received it, how you received it, what email you got it from, and that's just something that you would do to help out, so this stuff does stop. There's also this website. It's the idtheftcenter.org. I'm going to show you all these websites at the end, just so you have a feel of what they look like, what kind of things are on them. This is probably one of the best resources for identity theft. It gives you anything and everything you want. There's a section for law enforcement that if we come across a problem, we can go there. There's a section for victims, and it tells you what exactly you can do, how you do it, what the proper procedure is. If you do fall victim, what are your rights? Everything that you need is pretty much on this website. That's pretty much it for the identity theft. I can go into more detail if you guys have any questions. I can do that now, or I can wait until after I get the go ahead.
I have like a statement. Senior citizens are required at 65 to enroll in Medicare. Now, the government, Medicare, sends you a red, white, and blue Medicare card. Mm-hmm. And the ID on that card is your Social Security, which is, I think, is wrong. Mm-hmm. And a lot of seniors carry that with them. The full Social Security number is on that Medicare card. And if somebody steals that, and you were saying, and rightfully so, you can go online and catch this stuff. A lot of seniors aren't computer savvy either. There should be something that...
And that's a lot of who these people are trying to target. They're trying to target senior citizens because they've known that they've worked their whole life, and that a lot of times they do have money, not a whole lot, but they do have money, and they unfortunately they're not computer savvy, so they're the victims. As for the ID on that, honestly, that's the first time I've heard of this. It's not, my suggestion, wow.
Well, I think the government should supply something to them. And they got to have a different identification of something that was a full Social Security number on a Medicare card.
Yeah.
But something that seniors can fall back on. They don't want to operate a computer too. I think that's the government should do something there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure there's on the website there's forums that you can complain to, but again, like you're saying, it's people that have that they're not computer savvy, and that's just an unfortunate thing. And I can only say, if you're going out, you got to carry it. If you get hurt somewhere, you got to have it. But at the same time, maybe just if it is your social, you got to your social, black it out. I don't know if it matters to them, if they have to scan it or something like that, but black out the first, whatever it is, 7 numbers, and then keep the last 4 on there, just so you're somewhat protected. That's in my eyes, that's crazy that they do that, just with the fact that people do try and steal purses, and that's where they keep it. So, any questions on identity theft? No? Yep.
I have a question. When you get phone calls, you're not sure who they're from. Is there somewhere where there's a list of area codes that you should really watch out for?
There are. I'm actually there might be stuff on the FBI's website. Different. I think there was on here. I mean, it's just one number, but I'm sure there's plenty of other numbers that they have. Yeah, like the 419. There's a couple other ones that there are on there, but unfortunately, on the computer, the internet, you can type in telephone area code scam, and it pops up a list of people that were scammed, how they were scammed, what area code, what number.
All you have to do is Google.
Yeah, Google the telephone number, Google the area code, and it'll tell you like if this is a number that's been scamming people or if the area code has been scamming people. Google is actually a really good tool to this, but unfortunately, if you're not too computer savvy, it's not going to help you. Anybody else? No? Okay. If you do think of anything, let me know. I'll go through at the end and ask some more questions. But go ahead.
That's happened to me. You go to call them back, you don't talk to them, but you keep the number and then just try to call it back. Why are there phones that won't take calls? They'll say the phone doesn't receive calls or something. I mean,
well, a lot of the times it's because they are trying to scam you.
but I mean, who invented a phone that won't take calls?
Here, what they're doing now is there's actually applications that take your phone number and they mask it as a different phone number. So people will find phone numbers that are disconnected or that in town we actually had a gentleman kept getting phone calls from people saying that it's either a lawsuit or something against them and that they needed information on him.
The loan you just applied for?
Yeah, exactly. And the phone number that kept calling him actually came back to another house in Riverside. We went over to that house. He's like, that phone number is not even our phone number anymore because it was in our system as a house that used to be there, and it came back to a person that had actually moved 10 years ago from Riverside. So what they do is they find these disconnected phone numbers and they use their phone number and they cover their phone number with a different phone number. So when it shows up on your call ID, it comes up as this other number. So when you call that back, it's disconnected. It's not there. It's just some kind of recording. And that's what makes it really hard for us to track, because it could be one number, but it's no longer active. And go ahead.
Several calls over the last couple of weeks with these scams. And one is just a list of numbers and then a couple of letters that says NY. I Googled that and that was a scam. Every time I pick up the phone, you wait, and they say goodbye, so they must be doing a robocall or something. Another one called me up and was from India. And this guy tells me he was a computer guy. And then she was sitting right next to me. My computer was sending them signals that I had problems with the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's just the kind of stuff that they do. It's unfortunate, and you can call your phone carrier and you can ask them to block the number that shows up, but they're going to be like, that phone number doesn't exist, because what's coming in is a number that doesn't exist, because they're hiding their real phone number.
Our numbers, our cell phones and home and everything, do not call us. They don't pay attention.
Not people that want to break the law. So that's just the unfortunate part of it. The only thing you can do, and what I was suggesting is if you don't recognize the number, don't answer it. If it's really important, they will leave a voicemail, okay? A lot of these people don't want to leave a voicemail because there is a trail. We can match up their voice, not if we have a suspect. If we don't have a suspect, we can't prove that it's them. But you just don't answer. Don't answer, period. And don't give out any information, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for one person that, that they do get, and then they take thousands of dollars from it. We've had, I can't even tell you how many different incidents. We've had people, people call and say, yeah, you have some outstanding loans or debts, or no, it was a tax fraud, this one I'm talking about. You haven't paid your taxes from 2012. If you don't pay this now, we're gonna come and arrest you. Well, the person's like, well, you know what, there was some issues back then, but I thought we took care of it. So they listened to their instructions, and it was get Walmart gift card, not gift cards, but it was like these cards, gift cards, and put $500 on each of them, and then give us the numbers on it, and in that way we'll settle your debt. Well, the person did it and then realized, oh wait, crap, I just gave up so much money to these people that it shouldn't have happened. The person came into the police department, filed a report. On the way to the police department, people called from the Riverside Police Department's number saying that they were the Riverside Police. And, luckily we were there. And it's just, they can mask any number. So if you have any doubt of what happened, if it is true, come to us. And we will tell you whether or not that's legit or if it's a scam.
One call that I kept getting, it comes up Skype. I don't know if anybody else has got it. It comes up Skype, and that was the guy that told me that my computer was sending him messages. Skype.
Skype is actually a very popular online communication portal. A lot of people do that to call other people across the country, across the world. It's a video. It's either a phone. It's free. It's an online phone basically. But you can also go picture to picture. So if you want to talk to someone in China, you can type in their number for free, and you can contact them face to face and talk over the internet. What a lot of people do is they go out into I was actually just in a internet crimes class, and the person that was leading the internet crimes class, has anybody heard of swatting? What people are doing now is where if they're I owe you, you owe me, or I want $500 from you. Well, I'm not giving you $500. All right, well, I'm gonna send the police to your house with a full SWAT team, kick down your door, and have you arrested. Well, what they do is these people, they'll call the police department and say, I'm a 14-year-old boy, I'm about to murder my family and like blow up the house next door. And they'll send the police to the house, come around the house, and they'll make entry to the house, believing that there's an actual threat. And when really, there's probably people sleeping in their beds because it's 12 o'clock at night. So we're waking everybody up, we're knocking down doors, all over $500 from these people. But what they do is they use Skype to do that, because it's almost, unless you're very knowledgeable in computers, it's almost impossible to trace. Plus these people are in Germany. And a lot of the time, Germany or some other countries, and a lot of times they do this because they're playing like online games, and if someone can't get to like the next level, these people will be like, oh, I'll help you get to the next level, let me into your account. And then, oh, well, now I have your account information, give me $500, otherwise I'm gonna do this. So there's a lot of situations where Skype is good, where you can talk to family, relatives, all of that, but then the other times people use it to be, you know, for criminal activity.
They call their ID Skype.
Unless you're using the computer, nobody should be calling you from Skype.
That's the thing. They tell you there's a problem with your computer, and unless you know, I have a computer service where they can take over my computer, but I know them. But they want to come in and take over your computer to Skype.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want to do. They want to take over your information, and then they try to get, they basically try to blackmail you. I want money, otherwise I'm not going to do this. And then if you do give them money, well, I want more. And it's just a never-ending thing. So if you have anything like that, never give out information, never give out money, never give out anything. And if you do suspect that, come to us. And you know, we'll start an investigation on it. Or go to the IC3 and report it. They probably are almost better capable than, you know, they have more things that they deal with daily like this than we would. Anything else?
I think part of the fault lies with some of these scams is the gullibility of some people. So I think an improved PowerPoint for next time would be like maybe having a slide about linguistics, like how people will be manipulated.
Okay. Well, mark that down. How people are going to be manipulated, right? Give me an example of what you're trying to say here. Just so I know.
Like with these phone calls, like how ridiculous they are.
Okay, so you want more like real life examples? Is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, I guess real life examples.
All right, I'll put that in for next year then. Okay.
My mother was scammed, and she ended up giving information over the phone, her bank account, her checking account. Fortunately, my father was smart enough to go right to the bank and cancel the account. But for older people, very easy to tell them, and I think it was something about Social Security too. And when they called Social Security, they said they will never ask for information on the phone.
They won't. Nobody will ask for information over the phone. A lot of it will be in mail, and it'll be, we need you to come to the Social Security office in order to take care of some information. So what they'll do is they'll never ask, they won't even ask for information in the mail. They'll ask you to come to the place of business, or they won't even ask you to call them. But I mean, if you do have a number that they tell you to call, Google it and see where it comes back to. You know, a lot of people don't tend to do that because then, okay, we'll call this number, and then if it does come back to the Social Security agency, yeah, I mean, then you're talking to a legit person there. But if it comes back to some number, you know, across the country, you're not dealing with the proper person. Anything else? Okay. Now I'm going to go into the crime prevention kind of portion. It is the holidays. There are a lot of people spending money and gifts and all that kind of stuff. Crime prevention. We're here to the police. We're here to identify methods to gain citizen improvement in crime prevention. Provide crime prevention tips. Okay, this is all me trying to read my stuff, my notes. A proactive anticipation, recognition, and appraisal of crime risk and action needed to remove or reduce the risk. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to be proactive rather than reactive. We're out there, we're trying to patrol. We stop people who are suspicious, you know, that just don't necessarily fit the bill. You know, you see them walking down the street looking up driveways. Normal people don't do that. You know, we're fortunate enough that in this village to have a solicitor law where you can't solicit door to door, because a lot of times people will go up door to door and they'll ask you to come in, they'll scope out your house while you're in there talking to them, and then later on they'll watch your whereabouts, and when you're out of the house, that's when they go and break in the house. So unless they have a village approval, they shouldn't be going door to door. Call us. If you do notice people that are, walking down the street, looking up driveways, or just don't seem to be, in the right place, call us. That's the biggest thing, is having the citizens being just as proactive as we are. A lot of our arrests of people that don't belong, that have warrants or are burglars, come from people calling and saying, hey, this guy just doesn't fit the bill, here. He's wandering around, it's almost midnight and he's wearing all black, just walking down the street. Those are the types of things that we want to hear. Every law enforcement officer is a crime prevention officer by the technical definition, as well as moral responsibilities of the job. As a police officer, we must assess the crime problems in his or her particular area of responsibility and devise ways to develop further development. If we get hit with a bunch of burglaries in a certain area, then we're going to target that area until we get the person that we believe is committing all the crimes. And a lot of times, burglars use major thoroughfares to get out quick. So you're not going to find a lot of, you will get them in the center of town, but this place is so hard to get around. Unless you live here or know, you're not getting out. So what they do is they hit the exterior of the town, so they can get to Harlem, so they can get to Ogden real quick. Those places, those houses, the ones that probably should have a little more tighter security than the ones that are in town. Not to say that you shouldn't have tight security, in the center of town, but so those are the kind of areas we target when it comes to more prevention. Investigation and arrest after the occurrence of the crime may help to prevent further crimes by that individual, but the procedure is reactive rather than proactive. Like I said, proactive, we're out there, we're trying to stop things before it happens. Reactive is more of, okay, it happened, now we have to investigate, we have to go out and try and find this person so the people that were affected can have their justice, and hopefully that these people that keep doing them learn that they probably shouldn't be doing them. Things that we do have in the town, neighborhood watch, vacation house watch. If you are out of town on a vacation and you want us to do a check on your house, we do have forms for that, so you can fill those out and we'll go check on your house. Make sure none of the doors are broken, none of the windows are broken, and we'll walk around the house, check the door handles, make sure nobody was in there. You can leave tips on the village website. We do have identity theft packets and some information. We also have the alarm permits, so you can fill those out. That way we know who to contact if the alarm does go off. Who the next person is to contact, who your alarm agency is, all that kind of stuff. If we don't know that, then it makes our job a little harder to try and get a hold of you if you aren't home when it goes off. This is the sheet that you need to fill out, the Illinois Premise Alert Program. So if you need to, the alarm permit essentially. Some burglary prevention tips: install a deadbolt lock, something that's pick resistant. Lock doors every time you leave, even if it's just for a few minutes. I know that my parents, they live out in Arlington Heights, and a block away from them, there was an elderly lady. She walked out of her house for, I think 20 minutes it was, to go walk down to a business that they owned. And she didn't put the alarm on because she was only gonna be gone for 10, 20 minutes. Within that time frame, burglars walked in, watched her leave, knocked in the house, and stole her stuff. So even if you're leaving for 5, 10 minutes, lock all your doors, set your alarms. That way, you're always safe, especially if you do have an alarm. Most residential burglaries happen during the week and during daylight hours, because that's when most people are working. That's when most people are not in the house. So you have to be conscious of that. People study routines. So if you leave every morning at 7 a.m. and come back at 6 p.m., they know that there's a time frame there. 1 out of 3 burglaries, there is no forced entry. Someone just forgot to lock their door. There's also different type of burglaries. You have, your targeted and your not targeted burglaries. So your targeted burglaries are people enter the house and nothing else is taken except the jewelry off the dresser. That most likely means that it's an inside job. Someone that you know, or someone, you have a cleaning company come in and they know where everything is. Or you have, some family member that knows where your stuff is. They go in, they know exactly where the goods are, they go, they get it, they get out. The other ones, they're not targeted. They go in, they ransack everything, they try and find, anything and everything that they can take, iPads, jewelry, all that kind of stuff. And make sure your front doors are solid wood doors, thick. Keep your garage doors closed and locked at all times. This is a big issue in town. A lot of people during the summer, they have the kids, they're outside playing in the yard. The kids come in for dinner, the garage door's open. Next thing you know, a couple bikes are stolen. If you're not in the garage, close it. Secure sliding doors and windows. A lot of people, they have these big long rods down at the bottom of their sliding doors. Those work tremendously. They're great. It says engrave any valuable property. I agree with that. Anything with your initial, anything that can identify that down the road, if it does get taken, anything that'll identify your property as your property. Nowadays, there's tons of everything. So you have an iPad or something, and you have some stickers in a certain area or something like that, just so we know we can identify it. I think on another slide I have coming down to serial numbers. That's a big thing. If you don't have an alarm, get an alarm. That's probably one of the biggest things I can say. This way, nobody enters your house, and if they do, the alarm goes off. It's a very small town, and we know where every house is. We're there very quick. A lot of the times, people don't have alarms or forget to turn them on, and that's when the burglary happens. And make sure, if you have an alarm, make sure there is a sign in your front yard that says, hey, I've got an alarm. A lot of people don't think that they look nice, but it's a deterrent. And people that want to break into your house, it's a deterrent because they know an alarm's there. Leave a light on somewhere in the family room, small one, somewhere where you can see from the outside, so it looks like someone's home, even if you're not home. In this town, good exterior lighting. Since there aren't street lamps, there's lamps, but there are gas lamps, and you need to have good lighting on your house, because there are areas in town where you can't see the two houses next to each other because the lighting is so bad. Your neighbors you make friends with your neighbors because they're huge resources. Hey, yeah, you know what, I saw a car in your driveway. It didn't look like it, it was there the past 2 days. Well, that tells the person maybe there's someone scoping out the house, and that's a time to go to the police on this. Make friends with your neighbors. Like I said, with the serial numbers here, when purchasing valuable items such as iPads, bicycles, computers, save the receipts and log all the serial numbers so you can report them quickly if they're stolen. I can't tell how many times people have their bikes stolen or iPads or any kind of Apple devices. I don't know my serial number. What we do with those serial numbers is we enter them into our database, and if those things are gone and pawned, the pawn shop runs those serial numbers, and if there's a hit that they're stolen, it comes back to us. So that way we have the person who has your items, and we know exactly where they are. So it's very, very important to have your bicycle, have the iPads, have the computers, listed. Most of us view the holidays as a good time of giving and goodwill. Unfortunately, criminals view the holidays as a time of opportunity. Burglars look for easy entry with no good escape routes. With good escape routes, sorry. Try not to openly display your tree and gifts in the front window. Signs that nobody is home, such as 24-hour lighting, newspapers, and mail. A hidden key in all obvious places. Post on social media saying you're going out of town. That's a huge one. You got to make sure if you have kids that the kids don't do it, because you post on Instagram or Twitter or something like that. A family of the whole family in Florida. Well, who's at the house? Nobody's at the house. So now they know that nobody's home. So that's a huge thing you don't want to be doing. Like I said, they prefer to enter through unlocked doors or windows. People like to use, if you don't have any outlets outside or you've used them all, they run extension cords out through the windows to get their lighting outside. Well, now the window's wide open. Don't post your name on the mailbox. They can find out your phone number and they can call. Make sure you're not home. Or that's another tool that people use when they're trying to obtain your identity. Well, this person lives here. They find out your phone number. They find out your address because they know who that is. It's the start of finding out who you are. Go ahead.
I spent my whole life paying to not have my phone number in the phone book, but then when I switched to Comcast, all of a sudden it's in the phone book. I mean, how do you avoid that?
It's
Or you don't?
You'd have to, have you called Comcast on it?
No, but I used to pay like AT&T, I forget already who was, so they wouldn't put it in the phone book. When I left, then now I guess it's the property of whomever and it can't be in the phone book. So, but how do you avoid that?
You really don't, unless you call, unless you...
Call AT&T.
Yeah, I would call Comcast like you did with AT&T and see what they have to say. A lot of this is public record, unless you really don't. I mean, back before we had the internet, back before we had, everybody was listed in the phone book. If you didn't know a number, you called it.
Exactly. Which I did.
So
a monthly fee.
I would try and contact your phone provider now and ask if they have the same exact thing. And if they don't, ask them. They might have a little more knowledge than I would on how to get your number out, because I mean that's their job.
I don't know if anybody even looks at those phone books anymore, because
everybody's got call ID. They know the numbers. You can find them on the line, or So I would just contact your carrier.
You were saying you shouldn't put your name on your mailbox. Unfortunately, that doesn't help people in apartment buildings because their names are...
You're right. I mean, and that's the only way. I mean, that's how we know if we get a call to one of the residents out here. That's how we know where exactly they are. When we look at their mailbox, and that is it is unfortunate, but at the same time, that's how people know how they can get information. They can look you up in the white pages, based off your name and where you live. Don't leave descriptive telephone answering machine messages, I don't really know people that do that anymore unless they're at work. Where I'm out of the office from today to 3 days from now. A lot of people, I think when I had an answering machine back, I don't remember how long ago, it was, okay, we're on vacation from this day to this day. So people don't do that anymore if you do still use an answering machine. After Christmas, don't pile up empty gift boxes from, your, if you got a Prada bag or, whatever the box or the bag or whatever it comes in, don't leave those outside. Make sure they're in, black garbage bags so people don't know exactly what you have in your house, because that's what it is. They'll look and they'll see, oh, okay, well, you've got that, you have that, I think I'm gonna go get you instead. It's just, like I said, it's a crime of opportunity. And if they see that you have this in there, they're gonna target you. Go ahead.
I was kind of concerned earlier when you started this PowerPoint, when you started talking about people walking wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the difference between a scam artist easily targeting someone and the police targeting someone as being a suspect of crime because they're walking and looking at people's driveways? Like, I walk all the time, I look at people's houses.
It's
It's kind of ironic to me.
okay. With the first part, I'm not getting exactly what you were trying to say.
Because I just don't think it's right to accuse people of being suspects because
We're not accusing anybody. It's just that
You said earlier that you would accuse people.
no, you
Why?
never accuse anybody. You just the normal person at 12 o'clock at night isn't wearing all black and walking down the street looking up driveways.
All the time, I go for walks at night all the time.
Do you walk at night in the middle of the night?
Yeah, I exercise. Sometimes I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, but I think maybe there would be less crimes if criminals knew that people weren't so dependent on like government sanctions to take care of them.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Why?
And I know exactly what he's talking about. Because at the neighbor's house next to us, there was a man walking around the house. And I called them, and she said, no, he didn't belong there, and the husband came out. He was looking around the house. That's exactly the type of thing he was talking about.
Suspicious.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Do you walk around up and down driveways at night when you're dressed in black?
No, I mean, I'm sure there's some people.
And if you're walking at night, then you better pay closer attention to the lecture, because that's very
But
unsafe.
I am paying attention to the lecture, but I think sometimes things get too far, like people become way too fearful. And like, we're talking about.
I think that's the point of this conversation.
No.
No. And honey, I'm home all day, and I've stopped a couple things over a span of maybe 30 years, just because if something doesn't look right, it's probably not right.
And if more people paid attention, there'd be less crime. You're young, you probably haven't seen enough, as the rest of us have. So maybe you ought to just listen instead of...
I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just asking questions and people get offended when people ask questions.
No, it's
They're so invested.
Direction.
I'm just saying that there's what we deal with and what people that are out after dark in all black, based on history, based on the past. Based on history, based on the past, bad people aren't doing the right things when you're outside walking, looking down driveways, when you're going up and down driveways at night, okay?
Or in the day.
Even during the day, if you don't, unless you have, a permission from the village to be going door to door, people shouldn't be going door to door. Okay, we've had North Riverside the other day had someone in a Nightcore jacket with reflective gear on came to the door saying, "I work for Nightcore." I can't read your meter, can I come inside? Well, the person asked for the ID of the person, oh, I can't find it. Well, I mean, there's people that are out there trying to burglarize people, you know, and people that fit the descriptions that we have had over time that are proven, we stop those kind of people. People at night that are wearing all black, that are looking up and down driveways. You know, it's just, that's what we're doing in order to keep the city safe, the village safe.
Just the point, it's what you're saying is identity theft. That's really scary. But I'll tell you something, most people in this movement weren't even around. Back in the 50s, I lived in the city, Chicago Sun-Times ran a contest where you could win anywhere from $1 to $100. And all you had to do was send your social security number in, and they put it on the page. And if your social security number was there, you won that prize.
Wow.
That's how far we've come.
Yeah, no kidding.
No kidding.
Well, it used to be on our driver's license.
Oh, yes,
Remember?
correct.
Just not that long ago.
This was in the newspaper.
All right, so back to the slides. With the holidays, people are going to the malls all the time. Did you? We had, you know, people park in the parking lots. Parking lot security is huge. They come in all shapes and sizes, while parking in the lots provide great service by allowing us to access retail and office centers. They sometimes create a substantial risk. Park only in well-lit areas and highly visible locations. If you can see a security camera, park in the direction it's facing. If you can't see within 100 feet of you and you're parking at night, pick a different location. Park in higher traffic areas of the lot if possible, and move your car during the day to improve its location if possible. Remove all interior valuables from plain view, lock your doors and roll up all the windows. Use a highly visible steering wheel and locking device. I mean, I don't know who does that anymore. Use a car alarm and display the alarm decal on the window. It's like the same thing as if you have an alarm at your house. Use a valet parking for greater personal security if it's available. Be aware and alert of your surroundings, people, vehicles, items. Plan when to go and where to park. Closest is not always the best. Do not get out of the car if you see a suspicious person. Upon returning, scan the area around your car as you approach it so you don't see anybody walking up behind you. Always enter and exit the car quickly and lock all the doors behind you. Yell if anybody is following you without stopping to confront them. Return to the store or office if anyone looks or acts suspicious. Call the police or notify security of any suspicious activity. Always trust your instincts. And that is it. I do have a couple websites, like I said I was going to show. All right, the FBI's website. Go here, and then down at the bottom, they have a cybercrime section. This kind of has all the scams and all that kind of stuff on here. Cyber threats and scams, e-scams and warnings, that kind of stuff. This is where you would go, and it's FBI.gov. And this is like where they would, there's even holiday shopping tips on here. But if you do ever suspect some kind of scam, whether it be an email or something on the internet, go here, check it out. If what you're getting matches something that's on here, you probably have a scam. And as long as they haven't directly affected you, go to the next site, which is the Internet Crimes, what is it? The Internet Crime Complaint Center. They work with the FBI and the National White Collar Crime Center, and you can file a complaint with them. Basically, they're going to ask you for your info, and how you believe you are being defrauded. The next one is that website that I was telling you guys about. It's the Identity Theft Resource Center. So it is, the link is idtheftcenter.org. This is huge. This has everything that you need in order to help protect yourself. How, victim resources, identity theft protection tips, scam and alerts. This is probably one of the best websites you can use in order to help protect yourself, or if you become a victim, find out what you can do to protect yourself. I believe that's all I have for you. If anybody has any questions, I'm free to ask again.
Was there another website you mentioned, IC3?
Yes, IC3.
What is that?
This is the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Okay, so this is more, it's ic3.gov. This is more of if you do have a spam email or anything internet-wise, like the Nigerian prince or some kind of spam you've won a vacation. This is where you'd go to report that. Anything else?
We were on vacation once, and I went to the pharmacy. My son was sick, and the girl behind the pharmacy desk took the credit card. I saw her writing it down. I thought, that's strange, but I was more concerned with my son. And then we got back, and there was all kinds of charges, but I did report it right away, and I went to RPD.
Yeah. So.
I think they caught her. I had to say exactly what she looked like, and then talk to the people in Mahanna. I think she did get caught because the owner of the pharmacy, actually, I called him, and he said, "Oh my goodness, I've been on vacation, but I thought someone stole my credit card because he had all kinds of charges on his credit card." So.
Yep.
Yeah, no, getting back to earlier when you were saying shredding under and stuff, including junk mail. Do you know, I had heard, I don't know if it's true, but RPD has a shredding program. Have you heard of that? Or?
I have not. Do they? Yeah. They do. I guess.
So why don't you call RPD?
There's other places that you can bring it to, like in your community. Like my parents have it. They live in Arizona, so they'll have places that you can bring it and you can do huge shredding there for.
I know we have occasionally the bank, the village, the library, but that's maybe once every 4, 5, 6 months. I mean, I heard that RB has some type of shredding program that they, that just call and the kids will come out and grab a bag or stuff that has to be shredded. So
How do you know you can trust it?
Yeah, that I don't know if I would. She was saying I don't know how you'd be able to trust some of the high school kids coming out there with your personal information.
Once there was a big truck with the shredding in the back, how they're supposed to, and I saw the guys in the back of the truck looking at all the documents before they were shredding them.
I mean, that's why I would suggest, yeah, exactly, buy your own shredder and then go from there. That's what I have for that.
Stealing packages off of porches.
Yes.
That seems to be like that happened in my neighborhood last week.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any other, how do you order them?
What I would do is, if you're going to order something, like from UPS or something like that, if there's a note section, say leave in my backyard or leave on my back stoop. Don't leave it on the front porch. Is that going to stop everybody? No, because there are people out there that follow UPS trucks, that follow FedEx trucks, and they take that. But a majority of the time, like I said, theft is a crime of opportunity. So if you are having your package delivered, at 11 o'clock in the day and you're gone from 7 to 5, it's sitting out there for a long time. So if you're going to have it sit out there, let the UPS, let FedEx, whatever, put it in the back and leave a special note when you're ordering that that's what you want them to do.
You can go online and have a tracking number,
Yeah, but I mean,
You can tell them there to put it in the bag, special instructions. You can do that.
exactly. So just when you do that, there's a special instructions section, mostly on UPS and FedEx, and you can kind of go from there when it comes to leave on my back stoop or leave on the side of the house behind the third bush, you know, just stuff like that.
Do you have any false alarms for home security? We had a home
All the
security a
time.
long time ago, and there were a lot of
All the
false
time.
alarms.
Sometimes people can't make it to the alarm panel quick enough, and you know, we get there, and by the time we get there, either the security company is saying, yeah, the person gave the right call or the right password, or the alarm was turned off. But we treat every alarm like it's a real burglary in process. So even if you call back and say, no, we did it on accident, we still come, because who knows if that person that is in your house and while you're there is telling you to tell the police, hey, we're okay. So we still come and we still try to make sure that everything's okay. And if you're not home, we make sure all the ground level and the windows upstairs don't look like they're open. We make sure everything's secure. So.
Thank you, that was very interesting.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a safe trip and have a good Thanksgiving and a safe holiday and a secure one with your any identity. Thank you.